There's been some recent developments going on in the last few weeks. You've got just in the last 2 calendar weeks, you've got Embiid with a 70 piece, Cat with a 50 piece, or 50 or 40. Yeah, 50, I think. You've got guys dropping 70 points in a game, 50 points in a game, 40 points in a game, putting up crazy numbers. And then you come across some of these guys on TikTok and Twitter that I mentioned, social media guys that break down film and footage, specifically in most cases, defensive film and defensive footage in the NBA. And my ultimate takeaway from those they're funny to a degree. This one guy in particular, I can't remember exactly the handle. It's something along the lines of film session or film room session on TikTok. If you guys haven't seen him, definitely be sure to go check him out. He's got a YouTube page as well. And it's funny because he's semi-hysterical in terms of he's screaming and yelling and doing whatever, but everything he's doing when he breaks down the film of these NBA teams and the defensive coverages and schemes that they're deciding to run, not only in transition, but half-court defense, zone, man-to-man. They're playing all kinds of different defenses, obviously, in the NBA. But defensive effectiveness and efficiency in the NBA a lot of times comes down to the scheme that the coach wants to implement. You also got to utilize the skills of the the different sized guys on your team, the different abilities that they have. If you've got a team and a roster of bigger guys, you're obviously going to have a different defensive approach than teams with a bunch of smaller, scrappier guys. Maybe you got a combination. So you play what kind of your strengths and weaknesses are, as is expected in the NBA. The problem is from these video film room, breakdowns of these defensive efforts and the defensive schemes in the NBA. My biggest takeaway is not that some teams are good at defense in the NBA and some teams are not good at defense, or some coaches know how to coach defense and some coaches don't know how to coach defense. My biggest takeaway so far in the basketball season 2023 to 2024 is the same takeaway I've had my entire life. And that takeaway is college basketball is a better product than the NBA. It's a significantly better product. If you want to watch guys that play defense, play team-oriented basketball, have actual offensive and defensive schematic designed plays, passing, unselfish styles of basketball, smart decision making, acting in the best interest of the team and trying to win basketball games, maximum effort on the defensive side of the ball, guys getting back in transition, basketball. You'll find that in any high level prime time top 25 matchup in college basketball. If you turn on ESPN or you turn on the TV, if you turn on a top 25 game, midweek college hoops, you're going to see guys flying all over the court, diving for the basketball, getting back in transition, smart passes, unselfish basketball. You watch the NBA, man. These guys, it's hard. And this doesn't go for every NBA team. It does not go for every NBA team because there's some guys and some teams, some coaches and some players, some rosters in the NBA that go all out. They play good defense, they get back, they play unselfish, they assist. But there's other players specifically and teams, coaches, organizations that are a hard watch in the NBA. The National Basketball Association. I mean, the product in the NBA has gotten so disparaging and so lackadaisical and so selfish. It makes it almost impossible to watch for people. Embiid scores 70. Okay. Oh, he took 46 shots? That's insane. What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. He woke up, he showed up to the arena, had a decent shot going, and decided, I'm going to shoot the ball every other possession. I don't find that appealing. I don't think that's good basketball. In fact, I know it's not good basketball. Scoring 70, yeah, you know what? The team's probably going to win. I get it. You don't believe me? You don't think I'm the only one with this take? Ask the Minnesota Timberwolves head coach directly. Ask him. Karl-Anthony Towns scored 50 points in a game. And the coach's first line of thought and answer to questions after the game was, we played a selfish brand of basketball all night because they lost the game. Karl-Anthony Towns scored 50 and they lost the game. If that doesn't tell you where the NBA is in 2024, then I don't know what will. And that doesn't go for every single team. It doesn't go for every organization. It doesn't go for every single coaching staff, because there's some teams, players, coaches play and coach an unselfish brand of basketball, a hustle brand of basketball, a smart brand, good defense, transition defense, finding the open guy on the offensive end of the floor. And then the other side of the NBA is the most unwatchable brand of basketball possibly imaginable. Embiid scores 70. Okay, but I guess the Sixers are going to win. How many shots did he take? 45? That's not cool. That's not fun to watch. Karl-Anthony Towns scores 50. How'd the team do? They lost. Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch after the games is like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really impressed with our team today. Reporter says, hey, coach, did you think Karl-Anthony Towns was starting to chase a number there at the end of the game? He goes, yup. Not to mention, just go sit on your couch, turn on an NBA game, and I want you to try and watch the defensive effort. Just watch it. It's not there. Not every team, not every player. And understand it's a cardiovascular sport, sprinting up and down the court over and over and getting that. See, but that's what most people's excuses are. Most people's excuses for these NBA guys not playing defense, not getting back in transition. It's like, well, you try sprinting up and down the court all day. These guys are big men. It's a total. Okay, but I don't want to. I'm not going to, because I don't get paid $50 million a year to play in the NBA. Like, the brand and the state of the NBA and the sport itself had gone so far on the bad end of the spectrum that they had to start implementing and creating rules and referee calls to penalize guys for flopping. All the season of basketball has shown me so far, starting 2023 into 2024, is that college basketball is still a better product than the NBA. It's a significantly better product in terms of the effort you're going to see, the team-oriented basketball, the transition defense, the unselfish style of play, trying to win the game at all costs over stats, as opposed to the NBA, where you turn on a game on any given night, and one guy can just decide, you know what, I'm going to shoot the ball 40 times tonight. I'm going to chase a number. Defense, not only probably not going to happen, but definitely won't happen. How? It doesn't go for every team. It doesn't go for every coach. It doesn't go for every player. There's teams in the NBA that play really stout defense. Get back in transition, unselfish handoffs, smart screens, getting around, stepping up and helping out, filling the lane, not being completely blind, not losing sight of the man and the coverage that you're supposed to have. I mean, there's so many different individual examples, and then there's obviously a million plays and possessions in every single basketball game. But very, very, I'll put it this way, the amount of open backdoor cuts I see in the NBA, or guys just uncovered heading to the basket, compared to a college game, it's got to be 70% more. And the college game, like in the game of basketball, it'll happen. Every game you got, I'd say in every college basketball game, you probably got 8 possessions that end in a guy cutting open to the basket, just from a defensive miscommunication, a good move by a guy who's off the ball somewhere, a good offensive scheme, right? Good movement, passing the ball efficiently. Boom, guys open, cut, cool. In the NBA, that's like every 4th possession is some guy just open cutting to the basket, or some guy like so wide open behind the 3-point line, so wide open. And to me, I'd rather watch the college product of basketball than the NBA product at the current state that both of them are at. Now, if you told me it was a Nuggets and Celtics game, I'll turn that game on, because I know the Nuggets are going to play an unselfish brand of basketball. I know Nikola Jokic, the best player in the world, is going to look to get the ball out of his hands primarily, because that's going to help the team win. I know Marcus Smart's going to play good defense. Like, I know that's going to be potentially an entertaining type of basketball. But if you said, would you rather watch the 76ers and Joel Embiid against the Minnesota Timberwolves and Karl-Anthony Towns, or would you rather drive down the street and watch a bunch of random dudes you don't know play slow pitch softball? I might choose option 2, literally option 2, because that's the state of the game. That's the state of the NBA right now. It is what it is, man. I just want to say the NBA, the defense, the selfish level of this is it's just hard to watch.